Hello everyone, and today we'll speak about NASDAQ100 and SPX500. Here we see some strong tendency and our long trend are going higher and higher. In this Monday we are going higher, we have some gap, we have some strong levels are pushing up the level 30,000, so we are pushing up and going higher, and now we are nearly the historical maximum. It is about NASDAQ, and if we see the S&P 500 here, we see the same picture where we are going higher, pushing up the level 7,500 and are going higher near the historical maximums. And now I think that we can broke up the levels of the historical maximums and maybe going higher. The next level of the resistance is the level of 7,700 for the SPX 500, and the level for the resistance for the NASDAQ, if you see, is the level 31,000. Now we are work for the rule the trend is your friend. On the last week we broke down the level of 20 EMA and going lower for the level of 50 EMA, and from this level the Nasdaq going higher for the 8% at this moment. If we see the SPX 500, here we see the same picture. From the level of 50 MA we are going higher from the 4%, and I think that we can have a new historical maximum for these two indices. Nasdaq is more volatile and more stronger now for me. I think we need to see for the Nasdaq more, and the Nasdaq can go higher, maybe for the level 31,000 for these few days. But I think we don't need to buy now. We have some gap, and this gap is not good for us, is not good for our long positions. We need to wait maybe for the retest of the levels where we closed in last Friday, and from these levels we can work for the long positions for these two indexes. For the SPX 500 is the level 7,450 and for the Nasdaq, if we see the Nasdaq, is the level I think 29,700. From these levels we can open a long position with the stops lower than the level of 20 MA. If we close the 1-day candle lower than the level of 20 EMA, we can close this position, and if we don't do this we can hold this position and having some new historical maximums. It's some good long trade because we work for like this trend is a strong long trend for these two indexes, and all American shares are going higher with these indexes. I'm so interested in open these positions, but we don't need to go higher. We don't need to have new historical maximums now. We need to have the tendency like this now, lower and then higher, not like this. If we're going higher now, this point is not so interesting for open the position. It's my opinion about these two indexes, about Nasdaq and about SPX 500. I recommend to subscribe on my YouTube channel. Here you see my everyday trades for different shares, for different metals, indexes and something else. And I recommend to subscribe on my Twitter. There I show you some interesting information in text version. Bye bye and have a nice day.